difference in this meditation, in this center, and in our world. So I will be leading meditation without music today. Or do we have music? No. Jackson will not be with us today in person. I think he might be with us as a mystery guest coming from over the airwaves. So we can tune in to listen to the music of our hearts, feeling our heartbeat, hearing the sound of the water flowing, and knowing all is well right this very moment. So I invite you to get settled, maybe feel your feet on the floor, grounded, fully connected with the earth. Join me in taking some deep, easy breaths. Don't have to make anything happen. Our bodies know. Breathe. And we can consciously be present with the breath. And consciously present with whatever shows up to bless us. It's good and very good. I'm going to share with you a little prayer of consciousness. Take it into your heart, and there may be one part of it that speaks to you specifically, so in the silence you can be with it more. Nothing to effort, only to delight in the stillness and the quiet. Spirit is my consciousness. I shall not want. I have a consciousness of infinite supply, for I have infinite supply of consciousness. I have a consciousness of perfect health. For I have perfect health of consciousness. I have a consciousness of eternal life. For I have eternal life of consciousness. I have a consciousness of complete freedom. For I have complete freedom of consciousness. I have consciousness of allness, for I have the allness of consciousness. So finish the sentence for yourself. I have a consciousness of, and it might be something even different, and let's take that into our silence. I have a consciousness of, for I have all that I need of consciousness. I have a consciousness of deep peace. For I have deep peace of consciousness. I have a consciousness of wonder and delight. For I have wonder and delight of consciousness. I have love and whatever I need, for spirit is my consciousness, and I shall not want. Let us feel it deep in the cells of our being that we are one with this divine essence, always, in every breath in and out, in every heartbeat, in every sound, every person that we meet. And so we take it forth with each step as our feet kiss the earth, step by step, moment by moment. Namaste. So feeling grounded, we come back to this place and time. Sometimes it's just hard to break the silence, isn't it? It just feels so sweet. So thank you.
Morning. My name is Jim Holmes, and I'm part of the leadership team here at Centers for Spiritual Living Prescott. And welcome to all that are here in the sanctuary and those on the internet. Is there anyone else who can't hear me? Just a few quick announcements. The Swami will be returning as of January 17th, every third Monday from 6 to 7:15. The Heart Connection is having a meeting on the 10th, Tuesday the 11th, in a couple of days. And you can contact either Grace McManus or Sharon Tice if you're interested in becoming part of our reuniting of the Heart Connection and moving forward. There will be a new member orientation class on January 15th at 12:30. Sandy Kimmerly is holding a class on the consciousness of joy. And our January board meeting is going to be on Sunday, January 23rd. All members are encouraged to attend at this time, as well as we're still looking for volunteers. So anyone who feels in their heart that they can be of service to the center in wherever your talents may be calling you, there's plenty of positions open, and we welcome your presence in helping the center function at its best. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, first of all, to all the volunteers, to Clay and Dustin in the sound booth, to Richard, to Bob signing, to Pearl and Claire, who have cleaned up the candle area, and they worked very diligently getting the candle wax out of the carpet. So we appreciate all the gifts. There are many here, and Nancy, the administrative assistant, if things look different, she has been really letting Spirit work through her to make our sanctuary and our center be of amazing beauty and holiness, to hold that space. So we are really, really grateful, and who knows what we'll continue to see. I would like to start us with an opening to know that this service is exactly what we need today. We are so blessed. Blessed to be here in person, blessed to be here online, and wherever we are, even later watching, it is all a divine connection. There isn't one thing that could keep us from being in that one life. We call it God, we call it divine, we call it love, we call it spirit. Whatever we call it, it's good, bountiful, and beautiful. And so I celebrate this service today and the wonderfulness of having Reverend Karen Blakely with us and Hazel as our service leader. It's all amazingly unfolding in that dance of life, and so it is.
I really wanted to be with you all in person today, but I've been sick, and I just didn't want to give anybody this thing that I've got, because it's, everything's turning out exactly as it should. But I figured I should keep this sickness to myself, but that's not going to stop me from playing for y'all, or with y'all. Let's do this beautiful song called Surely the Presence. goes like this. Surely the presence of God's love is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can feel the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Well, surely the presence of God's love is in this place. Well, surely the presence of God's love is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God's love is in this place.
Thank you, Jackson. Even though you're not here, we feel your consciousness in this center. And good morning. How joyous it is, as always, to see all these beautiful embodiments of God's love and God's expression. Oh, my name is Hazel Bowman, and I am one of the licensed practitioners that serves this center, and it's also fun to be your service leader today. Now, joining me on this platform is Karen Rader, who is serving as our practitioner of the day. And oh, Karen, that meditation on consciousness, our pre-service meditation was beautiful, and invocation as well. And I'm looking forward to your in-service meditation. So she always gets us a little deeper. Please know that wherever you've been, wherever you've gone, whatever self-judgments you have about yourself, and don't we have a lot of those, but you are entirely welcome here today, just the way you are, and just the way that you perceive that you are not. Because I can assure you that here through the eyes of the practitioner, seeing you through the eyes of the divine, I can assure you that we see that divine nature within you already established. Now, practitioners love to do all sorts of things. We love to teach, that we enjoy that. In fact, we have some great classes coming up. We also, though, love to pray. You know, we enjoy doing that. And so there's a number of things that you can do to help somewhat, if there's something blocking your comfort zone, something that maybe isn't quite in sync for you or whatever, there's a couple of things that you can do here. One is, you'll see that there's some prayer request forms that are right there in front of your seat pocket there. And so what we ask you to do is, if you wish the practitioners to pray with you for the next week, we ask that you complete this. If you don't have the card there, there's some out by the Ministry of Prayer box out in the foyer. Fill this out and put it in the Ministry of Prayer box, and Karen will be securing those later on and then sharing them with us in the Practitioner Corps so that we can go ahead and pray about it. Now, one thing I'm going to point out, you'll see at the very bottom here, it says, I accept and embody. If you notice, I said that we're going to be praying with you. That means you just can't pass the buck and say, okay, well, I've got a practitioner, and the practitioner corps is praying with me or for me. That's good enough. No, one of the things we do here at the center is we provide spiritual tools to help transform your life, as well as make this place a better world. And so remember, this will be your affirmation. So if you say, I embrace wholeness, or I embrace peace of mind, know that for that week, as we will know that with you. There's other ways on how you can do this, and one is right after service, in case you want to have what we call a 3-minute miracle. Just come on up to the platform. Practitioners in service are wearing this purple stole here, but come on up here. We're not always that interested in the drama of the story and who said what and shit, you know, but just share with us what it is you want to experience. I want to experience abundance. I want to experience love. Maybe you want more of all the goodness that is already occurring in your life, and that's perfect too. Let us have that opportunity to pray with you in knowing that truth of what is occurring, that God's presence is always here. There is no separation. Or you can also meet one-on-one with a practitioner. And you'll see, you'll have a chance to do that. We have business cards out there. You'll see our names mentioned in the book. You can call the office and get names of practitioners, but give us an opportunity to meet one-on-one with you. For that provides us the opportunity then to perhaps shed light on perhaps whatever obstacles or obstruction or any perceived judgment you've had on something, and maybe kind of send it back and release it back into the nothingness from which it evolved from, where there is only God. Now, the beauty is there are so many ways to know spirit. So many ways to know that presence of love and light that is already within us, that is blessing this world around. And so what we love to do is that we like to honor the world's religions. Now remember that this is only representative of all the world's religions, because there's over 4,000 of them. And so if we did that, we'd still be here until next Sunday. So this is just a representative of what it is. And so here, what we'd like to do, if I can invite our candle lighters up. Thank you so much. And so let's go ahead. Because we here at the Center for Spiritual Living, we honor all faith traditions. As we light a candle for the world's religions, it is to acknowledge both our multiplicity and our unity.
We light a candle for Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus the Christ, who taught the path of love, forgiveness, and healing by the presence within.
We light a candle for Islam, the practice of submitting to the will of God as revealed to his prophets, peace be upon them, who taught that there is one creator, one God, creator of the heaven and the earth.
For Judaism, a community of shared laws, traditions, and family ties, which began with a covenant between Abraham and God.
For Buddhism, the middle path that ends suffering and awakens mindfulness and compassion.
For Hinduism, the path of knowledge, action, and devotion.
For Native American tradition, and those who walk the good red road, including the people of the sun, whom we know as the Yavapai.
For the Baha'i, the path of unity and peace.
For the goddess traditions, embracing the divine feminine as maiden, mother, and crone, or wisdom keeper.
And for the science of mind, which is the philosophy of life that teaches there is a power for good in the universe, and we can use it.
Thank you, ladies, so much. And so that we may share that, our affirmation, with the lighting of the candle lighting here, I ask that you repeat with me. We are here for God. Our purpose is to express the nature of God as love, abundance, and joy in everything we do. The good we seek for ourselves is what we desire for all people everywhere. And so it is. And then is Jackson going to be coming back on?
A lot of people I know have a similar experience that one of the first times they came to CSL Prescott, the thing that stood out was that candle lighting, reminding us that separation is an illusion. There is only one of us. In your eyes it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one.
Oh, wow. I can feel that so deeply. There is only one of us. And the Holy One beside us is a part of us. And the Holy One above, below, anywhere, there is no separation, and we know it true right now. So in that holiness of divine splendor and the bountiful beauty of God's pure love, let us go into a little silence, a little pausing to know, where we rest our soul, like the birds singing and flowers incubating, waiting for spring. I prepare and I awaken and I accept the full expression of who I am as one with the all that is. So let's take that into the quiet for a few minutes. The gifts of nature as the life of spirit awakens in me now. I breathe it in and out. I am in the flow of pure essence. I am in the heart of God, and I am, you are, we are, and all is well. Namaste.
Thank you, Karen. Now, generally, Jackson has the fun of introducing our guest our guest soloist here, but it's actually going to be me today. Now, you know the last name Steiger is a very prominent one in this mountain area, and Gail himself is a rancher and a cowboy extraordinaire. Absolutely. Now, I didn't know how to introduce him, so yes.
Well,
I forgot something. Sorry.
Go for it.
Okay, so, excuse me, Gail, I'm going to interrupt because we have a guest who wanted to say hello and could not be in person with us. So right now, I invite Albin.
Alvin.
Sorry, 1 second.
And here to visit us today is Albin.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to belated Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And it does me good. It does my heart good to realize that how many loving friends I have over at the center. Thank you. You make me appreciate life. God bless.
We love you, Albin.
Love you, Alvin.
Thank you so much. I visited him this week and we created that little video, and I had told Clay I wanted to introduce him. So thanks very much. His address is out in the lobby if you would want to send him a card. He is at Mountain View Manor, so it would be difficult for him to be here with us. But he is definitely a long-standing helper, and his little angel wings are helping us all the time here. We say, what would Albin do? Okay, thank you.
Karen,
Thanks,
it was
Gail.
my pleasure because Alvin is dearly loved by all of us. And yes, please, if you want, send him a card, go visit him. I know how much it would mean to him. So I'm going to get back to this character here, Gail, because when I asked him, how could I introduce you, you gave me the best advice I ever heard. He said, well, just tell them, if you like me, fine. And if you don't like me, I'll try and be brief. So with that, let me go ahead and introduce our fabulous guest soloist, Gail Steinker.
Yeah, thank you, Hazel. Thank all you guys. Thanks for coming. When I was catching up with Hazel, and we realized, it's been 2.5 years since I've been here. We got a new parking lot and everything else, and all kinds of other things too. We decided that the only thing we can count on is change. And life is just that thing that happens while you were making all those other plans. But anyway, I'm glad you all are here today. I'm going to start you off with a song from Mary Gauthier, who wrote, this is a song that she wrote called Mercy Now. My father could use a little mercy now. The fruits of his labor fall and rot slowly on the ground. His work is almost over, it won't be long, he won't be around. I love my father, and he could use some mercy now. My sister could use a little mercy now. She's a stranger to freedom, shackled to her fears and her doubts. The pain that she lives through is almost more than living will allow. I love my sister, and she could use some mercy now. My church and my country could use a little mercy now. As we sink into a poison pit, gonna take forever to climb out. They carry the weight of the faithful who follow 'em down. I love my church and country, and they could use some mercy now. Every living thing could use a little mercy now. Only the hand of grace can end the race towards another mushroom cloud. People in power, well, they'll do anything to keep their crown. I love life, and life itself could use some mercy now. Yeah, we all could use a little mercy now. I know we don't deserve it, but we need it anyhow. We hang in the balance between hell and hallowed ground. Every single one of us could use some mercy now. Every single one of us could use some mercy now. Mary Gauthier.
Thank you so much, Gail. His music, I could listen to him, I swear, all day long. Just that beautiful voice, and so reflective. It gives us that opportunity to really go within and determine either we are right about the problem or God is right about the solution. And it is our choice. And so let's learn a little bit more about how rich is that soil in which we live and move and make that choice. And so what that means is that I have the fun of introducing now our guest speaker. And this is just great. She is a nurse by trade. She also has her master's in this area. She is a practitioner as well as a ministerial intern down in Phoenix at the New Vision Center of Spiritual Living. Now, I absolutely loved how she got her start in the science of mind, because I asked her that. And she said, I had one of those cards, you know, a subscription card to the Science of Mind magazine. And so she kind of thought, well, why not? And so she sent it in. And she said when the articles, the magazine started to come in, she said she read them from cover to cover and just loved what she read. Well then, and I always get a kick out of spirit, because spirit is always at play. Isn't that right, Gail? As you say, whatever you're planning, yeah, it's true. Well, anyway, she was at a used bookstore in the youth section, and there was a Science of Mind textbook, obviously misplaced in the wrong area or whatever, but it was on sale for $5. So we bought that. And then what happened next, because Spirit was not done yet having fun with our beautiful Karen, was that she went to the New Vision, and she decided almost the very first, almost from the get-go, to join the choir. And she sat between Reverend Leslie Goodwin and Reverend Michelle Madrano. Now, how cool is that? And anyone who knows those two ladies, oh my goodness. Well, anyway, she said it was among all the singing and the laughter that she knew these were my kind of people. Well, I'm going to share with you, we are delighted that this morning she is our kind of people. Let us, I invite now the future, and let's make that affirmation together as a ministerial intern, the future Reverend Karen. Okay.
Thank you so much, Hazel, for that beautiful introduction. And let me just add a warm welcome to all of you here at Prescott CSL. It is such a joy to be with you here. Uh-oh, we're getting feedback. We got a hot mic somewhere. All right, there we go. I just was afraid to get a squelch. It is just such a joy to be with you here on this crisp January morning. And as many of you are probably already aware, in January in CSL centers around the globe, we often take the opportunity to take a look back at our foundational elements of our teaching. And when I think of our foundational elements, I cannot not picture our beautiful teaching symbol. So we start with the external circle that represents the omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent substance that is the divine, that all-knowing, always present, all-powerful, eternal source and substance. And then as we begin to look at the inside, we notice those two lines that come down. And for me, they start at the top in pure absolute potential. And then for choice, we press it down into the law and finally collapse that down into a single point that manifests in our world. And these three sections are often referred to as seed, soil, and plant. And it's that second section that I want to talk about today, which is often referred to as the soil. And that is where I got the title of my talk, How Rich is Your Soil? And specifically, we're looking at, are we planting our mental seeds in soil that is more like the desert dirt that we see here in Arizona, or in that rich, deep, fertile soil of the divine? And what can we do as we walk along this continuum to continue to enrich our soil? So as we get started here, I just want to see, for a show of hands, how many of you either like to garden, farm, or are a plant parent of some kind? Oh, look at that. We've got like at least half the room. And I'm sure there's some of you online raising your hands as well. Well, full disclosure, I am a bona fide tree hugger. I absolutely love nature and everything in it and our beautiful thing we call Mother Earth. I do not, however, have a garden. What I do have are a ton of people around me who do. So as I started to work on this talk, I went ahead and I asked them, what are the things that you use to enrich the soil of your physical garden? The first one I think will come as no surprise to anyone: water. They said there needs to be that perfect balance of the water in the moisture of the soil. So when I looked at this on how I can take that metaphorically to enriching the soil of our mental garden, what I automatically thought of was the flow of the divine. And you have this beautiful water feature here on the platform that just so eloquently shows that essence of that flow of the divine. And I remember early on in my journey with CSL taking a class, and a teacher told us to close our eyes and just imagine a beautiful forest. And that in this forest we could hear that trickle. We can all hear the trickle of the fountain behind me. And that as we walked closer, we could see the stream. And then we were invited to step into the flow. And I stepped in, arms wide open. Oh, it was awesome. I could feel the power of that flow. What an amazing visualization. I held on to that. It was sometime later that I realized one very important thing. I was actually standing facing the oncoming water, like I'm resisting the flow. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, says, "The infinite fills all molds and forever flows into new and greater ones. Within us is the unborn possibility of limitless experience. Ours is the privilege of giving birth to it." Now, I don't know about you, but I can't figure out how the heck we could give birth to anything if we're resisting it. If we're pushing against it, it certainly cannot come through us. And so the gift here is to turn 180 degrees so that we can sit down and be submerged in that divine flow, allowing Sweet Spirit to carry us, having faith and trust that it will always guide us to where we are meant to be. The second item or way that we can enrich our soil is with organic material. And organic material is a pretty broad topic. And I did consider for a moment talking about the gift in days that feel like fertilizer. But I ultimately landed on another topic. It's something called ground cover. And among other things, ground cover are plants that can often be left in the field so that they can be turned in and become upon themselves pieces and items of things that enrich that soil. We all know that we're supposed to weed our mental garden, and we're pulling those weeds out and we put them to the side. We pull the weeds out and put them to the side. But I think there is a moment that we need to stop and take for a cautionary tale of what Scott talked about last week, and that's running into a spiritual bypass. That as we're pulling out our weeds and setting them to the side, there's a temptation to pull out that thing that happened in the past. I don't like that, I'm going to put that over here. Ooh, and that behavior that creeps in every now and then, it's not really who I am. I'll put that over here too. Oh, yes. And then there is that thing that I am sure if anybody knew about me, they would never even look at me the same. And I'm going to put that over here. And I think we have a little fuzz. Is it me? I can. Oh, that means I'm going to have to talk without my hands, huh? This might be difficult. All right. And so now what we've done is we're standing over here. And we've pushed all of these parts of ourselves that we don't like to this corner. And it's hard for me to even talk about. You can hear that emotion getting in my voice because what we've now done is said that there are pieces of ourselves that are not enough, that are unlovable, unwantable, unworthy, that we don't accept this. And we can't possibly become whole if we're resisting parts of ourselves. And so the opportunity is instead to take victim and transform it into survivor. To take shame and transition it into self-love, so powerful that nothing could break it. That can we take everything that comes our way and use it as the fodder that helps us to build our foundation until we are absolutely unshakable. I think this is what the great mystic and poet Rumi talks about in the poem The Guest House. He says, this being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. It may be clearing you out for some new delight. And this is usually where the poem stops. But I think the last two stanzas are very important for what we're discussing here today. He goes on to say, the dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from the beyond. Each item is an opportunity for us to rewrite our story, to transform what has happened in the past 10 years, 10 seconds, to say, yep, I did the best I could in that moment. And now that I know more, I can make different choices and allow that to become part of that beautiful landscape that is our life, enriching our soil. The last item that I learned about is something called structure. And in this, we could have talked about the importance of daily spiritual practice and having that structured routine, which is very important. But I wanted to take a little bit deeper look, specifically a microscopic look at soil. And if we do this, what we'll find is that there are places where the soil is solid, and then in the middle, there's an emptiness or a space that surrounds it. And in this space, I found two very important things for us to talk about in our mental gardens. That's nothing and the gap. Nothing is that opportunity that we have to actually rest in the being. It is the opposite of doing. Ooh, and if you are anything like me, you are really good at the doing. Some days I am doing so much by working full-time and being a ministerial student and still having somewhat of a social life that I am on the go and doing all day long until I lay down in bed just to get up the next day and do it over again. But what I know is that that can lead to burnout, that we need to find some time to rest in the nothing. Now, I think of myself as fairly laid back, but you could also call me type A. I like to keep things organized, and I do love a good list. I think it's because I then get to check things off the list. So I did what any good type A person would do in trying to put more nothing into their lives. I scheduled myself an appointment with nothing. And so when the time came on my calendar for nothing, I was set. Now, mind you, nothing does not mean sitting on the couch and watching TV, curling up with my favorite book. It doesn't mean talking to a good friend or anything else that engages our mind in the thinking process. It's actually nothing. And you may find if you try this, that'll happen to you what happened to me. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and breathe and just be. And about 5 minutes in, I'm like, oh, I should write that. Where's my phone? No, you didn't bring it over here because you're supposed to be in the nothing. So I did take the opportunity to write that on the list because I'm type A after all. I have to have my list. But the list allowed me to then rest back into that nothing and not worry or try to remember anything. And what I learned was that the more time that we take in the being, the more rich our doing is. It actually allows us to have that ability to tap deeper into our creativity and our intuition. That it's in the nothing that those ahas come on. And the next thing that I wanted to talk about is something I like to call the gap. And I see Gina over here that I know from New Vision laughing because she's heard me discuss this before. The gap is when we find ourselves in that place of uncertainty. It's when we've heard the call and we know that something has ended, but we're not quite yet clear on what the new beginning will be. And this place is not something that is comfortable. And a good friend of mine, Reverend Elijah, says, you need to get comfortable with the discomfort. And I thought, well, gosh, doesn't that sound like fun? But really, he's absolutely right. That it's when we're able to stand in that place and be vulnerable and uncomfortable and not know that we can open to allow the divine to fill us, to pour through us what is to come, to be pulled by the vision. Brene Brown puts it this way. What silences our intuitive voice is our need for certainty. Intuition is not a single way of knowing. It is our ability to hold space for uncertainty and our willingness to trust. Our willingness to trust. And so in this, we've come full circle right back to standing in the flow of the divine, in trusting that Sweet Spirit has absolutely got us. What I also know is true is that as we each take time to continue to enrich our own mental garden, that ripples out to affect everything around us. And that includes this beautiful community, the CSL Prescott Center. And what I know is that in this center, each one of you are the things that enrich the soil here. That you are together building that beautiful, living, gorgeous soil to which you have planted the seeds for your next senior minister. I know that that is already coming to fruition in the mind of the one, and I can't wait to see what glorious things bloom here. Thank you. And so let's just take this into prayer. And just breathing into that space, into that place where we know that we know that we know that there is only one presence, one power, the source and substance of all things, in always and always, all God and all good. And what I know is this good shows up as love and grace and peace. And I know that we are each what it is. That in, as, and through every one of us is that same substance. That every cell and fiber of our beings are alive with that joy, with that grace and peace. And so I simply speak a word over every person in the sound of my voice, knowing that we are blessed. Blessed simply by being. That our very essence is the divine made manifest. That right here in this time that we are each in the process of growing and continuing to up-level the joy in our lives, that there is absolutely a space where we are that joy. That love is simply guiding and directing every step of our way. I know that this is outpicturing in our individual lives and also in the lives of this beautiful community. And so I simply call it good, and so very good. And I am so grateful to stand witness to these truths,
So grateful to see the beauty that is unfolding before me right here, right now. And so I simply cast these words forth into the law, letting them go and letting them be, knowing that sweet Spirit already said, yes, my beloveds, yes. And we affirm and know this together by saying together, and so it is.
Let's go ahead and stand.
So we will let those words be. Well, we let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy wash over us. Well, we let it be. Well, we let the grace wash over us. Well, we let it be. Well, we let the love wash over us. Well, we let it be. Well, we let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let the grace wash over us. We let it be.
Thank you, Jackson. And thank you again, the future Reverend Karen, and you are awesome as a ministerial intern. And hopefully we'll have the pleasure of having you back again, because I just loved it. And carrying on what she was talking about, which was the seed and the soil coming into the plant, I'd like us to talk now about our own contributions that we make to the center. And certainly we do it through our time, through our energy, through our love, through those gifts that we share. And at this time, we are also seeking the financial contribution. As we know at the very top, the seed, that we live and exist in an abundant universe, that there is no limitation. And so we plant that seed into that soil, knowing that it will manifest, knowing that it supports this center in blessing absolutely every single person that's on this planet, because that is the effect of love. And so at this time, I ask that you please take your love offering. You can place it over your heart. If you're online, you can certainly donate online at cslprescott.org in the donation gift section, or being shown on the screen right now online is how you can text the donation to us. But what I ask you to do, and don't forget the offering box is outside the sanctuary doors here where you can place it. But right now, just kind of place that offering in your heart. That's that soil. Just place it there. And know and feel this to be true as we plant that seed. Divine love in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, life. And thank you so much, Gail, because I'm going to be sweet talking you to come on up here and sing another one. Isn't he fabulous? A poet extraordinaire. I just love this man. All right.
Well, I
sure thank you guys. Karen, I sure enjoyed, the soil health. All of us agrarians, that's kind of where it's all about. This is a John Gorka song. It's called Morningside. Am I a fool at this late date to heed a voice that says you can be great? I heard it young, now I hear it again. It says you can be better than you've ever been. Don't want to waste what I have to give and all of the time that I've left to live. Don't want to waste what I have to give and any of the time I've got left. I can do more than I thought I could. Work brings more luck than knocking on wood. There's random bad and random good. Work brings more good luck. Good luck. You ask the world, and the world says no. That's the world's refrain. Mine says go. You ask the world, and the world says no. It's an old world refrain. Mine says go. Don't want to waste what I have to give and all of the time that I've left to live. Don't want to waste what I have to give and any of the time I've got left. I can do more than I thought I could. Work brings more luck than knocking on wood. There's random bad and random good. Work brings more good luck. Good luck. Better be off. I got dreams to dream, though it seems uphill and a little extreme. If I can find hope in this fading light, then I'll find you on the morning side. If I can find hope in this fading light, then I'll find you on the morning side. Don't want to waste what I have to give and all of the time that I've left to live. Don't want to waste what I have to give and any of the time I've got left. I can do more than I thought I could. Work brings more luck than knocking on wood. There's random bad and random good. Work brings more good luck. Good luck. Good luck. John Gorka.
Oh, Gail. And yeah, I'll take more of you anytime. I hope Jackson can sweet talk you into coming back another time and hopefully bring that beautiful bride of yours who you said is out hiking today. So enjoying, the beauty of nature as well. So thank you so much. At this time, we would enjoy welcoming any visitors who are here for the very first time, or perhaps you haven't been around for a while and would like to reintroduce yourself. We would enjoy that as well. So who would like to stand up and introduce themselves here? And remember, there's no nudging or anything like that. But is there anybody here who would like to stand up and introduce themselves? Yes. I love it, yes. Well, thank you for your contributions for this wonderful guest speaker that we've had. Thank you. Anybody else would like to stand up? Yes, go ahead. And in fact, what I'd like to do, because I don't know if people have a hard time hearing, I'm going to bring the microphone so people can actually hear, folks. Let's go ahead and do this.
Hi, I'm Vicki Vandriff, and I'm actually in the process of moving here. So this is my first time, and I should be full-time here next month.
We love that. Hope to see you here again. Who else would like to introduce themselves? Anyone? All right. Well, I know I probably got the camera gentleman here all upset walking around. So let me come back on up here. Oh, thank you. Well, it's such a delight to have you here. We look forward to welcoming you again. So just thank you so much. Well, with that, oh, I see wonderful Children Association of Awesomeness. Can we invite the kids on in? Let's come on in. Aaron and Di, come on in. I've learned it's best just to give the microphone and they can share their insights of everything that they've learned. So who wants to go first? All right, Seamus.
So today we talked about Betty White and how we can look at someone and go like, we can make like a little story about them or like think about their lives, like since none of us knew who Betty was except for those two. We were like, she's a subway worker. She's a flight attendant. She has a lot of animals and stuff like that. So why would we do that? Because everything is connected in a way, so that we're kind of connected to that person, and we just make up a little story about them because they're connected to us. Yeah.
No matter how false our story is, it makes them a little more real. And so we can see how we are all part of that one if we understand and see that truth about them. Does anyone else want to talk? You
do. What else we're doing is we're taking these little glass squares, and then we take permanent markers, and then we color them, and then we put alcohol on them, and then they, it's really cool because sometimes it
bleeds the ink, and so it creates a new design, right? So I put a bunch of hearts on mine. You couldn't tell that now because now it's just kind of this wonderful, right, mess of things, but a beautiful mess.
And the first time we tried 70 alcohol, but that didn't work, so we tried 91 alcohol, and we put 91 alcohol on top of last year's one.
This is, I think, was so when the children were trying to decide, they saw the picture of Betty White, and they were just giving their ideas, and one of them said, well, maybe she's like Ernest Holmes, and then we were able, it's like, oh my goodness, it was so fun to just keep exploring that and then explore how she was, because Erin had found this wonderful clip that, so. Anybody else? Look, Meadow, did you? Are you good?
And they blended into really pretty colors.
All right. Oh, that's excellent. You all have so much fun, and I love what you learn. And yes, we're all connected. Yes, so let us all connect with each other right now. And I'm going to ask the future Reverend Karen to come up and join us on this platform as we sing our way out. So please rise. And is Jackson going to be doing our Peace on Earth song? All right. So I'm going to let Jackson take it from here. Oh, let's say our benediction first. My apologies on that. All right. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is happening through my mind, my body, and my affairs. I think it, I believe it, I feel it, I know it, I accept it. Thank you, life.
Here I am, Hazel. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. We're a family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. Take each moment and let